All right, good morning, guys. Sorry for the delayed start. We had a couple settings I had to fix here on Zoom, and I'm going to be conducting my call today with the video off because I have got, for those of you who don't know, I have a 3-year-old who normally is not here, but she is here today, and so I'm in a different location of the house than I normally would be, and so lighting not as good, and the background probably a little distracting. So I'm going to run it with the video off. I don't have anything to share on the video today. So anyway, and disclaimer: if you hear some racket going in the background, no, we're not being broken into. It's probably a 3-year-old just dismantling the house. So uh, we will power through though. So very good. All right, we'll start with leaderboards. This morning we had a solid week. We had, looks like in the base shop, 9 riders, starting with Michael Johnson, had 1 app for $310. We had Donna Bates, 1 app, $440. We had Kim Tansky, 1 app, $480. And that is actually both Kim Tansky and Michael Johnson are new riders. Made a little note here off to the side. So congratulations. Guys, if you can write 1, you can write 2. If you can write 2, you've got yourself a business. So great job. I managed to sneak out for a few hours on Wednesday and went out, ran a referral appointment, wrote a couple apps for $1,440. Mr. Brett Applin had 1 application, $1,463. And a quick note on Brett: last week we announced his numbers, and we had some numbers that didn't show up because he was having some issues getting them entered into ops. So he actually had about $5,000-$6,000, I think about a $5,500 week last week, and so we shorted him. So I wanted to give a shout out, make sure we got him recognized for putting in an effort and getting those apps written. So all right, Mr. Greg Shapiro, 2 applications, $2,056. Mr. John Paul Vetter, 2 applications, $2,162. Kevin Brosda, 3 applications, $2,318. And the number 1 writer for the week was Miss Julia Pappas, 3 applications, $4,563. Thank you, Miss Julia. Great week. Congratulations. Very good. All right, guys, announcements this morning. Net placed sheet. This is the last day for turn in, but also the last day for getting our business submitted to count for the month. So net placed, guys, please help us out. Get on there. You've got emails from Laurie on getting that updated. And so if you have any questions, reach out to her. She does have a short training video on it. It's pretty simple. It doesn't take but 5 minutes to go on, update that. But we need your help getting that updated. Small announcements: we have hired a goon squad to go out and break kneecaps if it is not completed. So they will be knocking on your door at the end of the day if you've not done that. So and they have been given authorization to escalate that as high as they need to. So don't make us send them out. So again, last day for turn in and issue paid. We are at the end of the month of March. It's a 5-week turn in. We had a great month, so I will have end of month numbers on the next call. But great month, everybody, and looking forward rolling into April, and everything is coming up. Obviously, conference, excited about that. And speaking of conference, April 16th and 17th. If you have not signed up, get signed up today. Be there, be square. It is going to be a phenomenal event. Not going to beat the drum as much today on conference, but one of the things I am going to touch on is you should have gotten emails, those of you who are already signed up, to get your breakout sessions. Get signed up for breakout sessions, guys. Those fill up very, very quickly. And there's some very popular breakout sessions that, and I was just looking at the numbers a minute ago, and some of them are already nearing capacity. So you want to get in and get signed up for that. As a guarantee, if you wait, you'll be taking whatever's left over. And if that's basket weaving 101, then I guess you'll be making baskets for the rest of the year. So All right. And another announcement, the conference, and you should have seen this also on an email. The conference sign up, as far as the breakout sessions, everything is moved to an app. So we have now joined the rest of the world and put everything on an app. So download that app, and that actually is pretty handy. I've been playing with it, and so, in the past, we kind of, especially at the venue, you just kind of had to, wander around till you find your room, and hopefully you weren't late, and et cetera, et cetera. But this has actually got maps. I mean, it is really a pretty cool app that they got put together. Guys, these breakout sessions, and not to harp on them, but this is where the meat and potatoes of this training and the business happen. I mean, you're going to, in the 2 days of conference, you're just going to have a flood of information. But if you want to talk about the stuff that can go out and literally make you thousands of dollars a week, it will be in those breakout sessions. So that's my plug and push for conference. For those of you who haven't signed up for that yet, those breakout sessions are going to be led by some of the top performers in the company, always top level people. So do get in, get signed up. We are going to be on a team level, and this is a brand new announcement to everybody, including Laurie. So this is going to be news to her. But I'm going to work with her on this later today. I'm going to put out a training link, a calendar link. Kind of want to do kind of like a, gosh, what our college professors used to do, have open office hours on every day of the week. And so I'm going to do that. I want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to support everybody in their growth and moving forward. So you don't have a lot of details on that yet. I've got a calendar link, but we'll also be putting out some information on some of the subjects and things that we will be I'll be available for coaching and helping you grow in. So look for that. So we'll obviously put it up on GroupMe and send it out in an email. So be watching for that coming out very soon. Guys, it's probably going to be a fairly short call this morning. I had a couple things that I want to touch on, but I was trying to debating on what all I wanted to cover this morning. But kind of leading up in a conference, there's a lot of training going to be coming down the pipe in that event. So I'm not going to be, the next couple 3 weeks, I'm not going to be putting a lot of content out there on training, just because you said you're going to get baptized in training in a little over 2 weeks now. So a couple things I do want to remind folks, though, and for those of you who are brand new, getting out, putting your policies together for the first time, and even for those of you veterans who are here and looking for ways to maximize and capitalize on the conversations that you're having, and that is, make sure when you're planning your policies, guys, put your one of the easiest ways to add extra value to your clients, but then in addition, help your bottom line, is make sure when you're running quotes, take a look at all the riders that are available on the policies that you're running quotes for. So for example, and it doesn't really matter whether it be a final expense or whether it be a mortgage protection, term, all of them have riders available. And, so that provides a lot of extra value for the client, but it also increases the premium. And how we present that, how I always presented it and still do, is I will run a quote, but I will include, in my numbers right up front, I will automatically put on like an accidental death benefit rider. That's an easy one. Clients love the idea. Nobody thinks they're going to die of natural causes. Everybody thinks they're going to be hit by a bus. We're going to live forever, and we're only going to die from an accident. So when you put an accidental death benefit rider on there that takes their death benefit, say from 100,000 to 200,000 in the event of an accident, and you explain, hey, this has this built in, it automatically doubles. Number one, it's not going to raise the premium a lot. Usually an accidental death benefit rider is only about $5 to $10 a month additional. But again, I don't even break it out. I just, if I'm quoting them $85 a month for a plan, and I had the accidental death benefit rider, it takes it to $95. I just present it as, hey, this is a $95 plan, and it includes a provision that if you die in an accident, it automatically doubles your death benefit. And beyond that, you know, we've got a lot of other riders that you can add on, and some of them provide a ton of value. And I want to use a real life example. Critical illness rider is available, especially with companies like American Amicable. I believe even Mutual of Omaha has it on theirs. Several of our term plans. But you know, one of our agency owners in the company, Jimmy Spildinner, is dealing with stage 4 cancer. And some of you, I'm sure, have heard about that. But, you know, he's actually been at some of the winter tours that we had here recently. And he was talking about the fact that when he came into this business, and he says, you know, it's the first cornerstone, or one of the first cornerstones in our business is belief. You have to believe in what you're selling. So he took out a policy on himself with American Amicable and included a critical illness rider. Now, Jimmy's and for those of you who don't know who he is, he's a young guy. He's only 40, or maybe give or take a year or two. And so he's young. He's very healthy, actually very athletic, and diagnosed last year with stage 4 colon cancer. Guarantee you, when he took that policy out, the last thing he thought he was going to be using on that policy was the critical illness rider. In fact, he probably didn't even think he was going to be using the death benefit, to be quite honest with you. And you know, we pray that he doesn't for a long, long time. But he has it there. And getting back to the point of adding on these riders and the value that it provides him, when he was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, he called American Amicable, and they sent him a check. I believe, I don't remember the number off the top of my head. I want to say he said it was $50,000. A $50,000 check just for being diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, guys. And what that did for him is, you know, he was far enough advanced that they had to get very aggressive very quickly, which meant he had to seek out some treatment that his insurance wouldn't pay for. Guys, that's what that critical illness rider did for him. He was able to cut a check to go to an experimental treatment location outside of the U.S. to actually get some treatment to try to do everything he could to not only reverse the disease but prolong his life. And it's definitely helped him. He's still battling cancer, but you know, he was given 6 months to live, and that's been well over 6 months. And we're probably getting close to a year now, and prognosis is, you know, he's still got some time left on this earth. So all that to say, that rider alone, and again, probably an afterthought, probably his mentor just said, hey, buy a policy and put all the riders available on it. And he did that, and that literally has made a significant difference in his life. And that's what you can do for your clients. And that's what's amazing about this business, is the little decisions and the little things that we help these clients make have lasting impact, not only on them and their families. And so don't overlook that. So, you know, a lot of times we talk about this as a way to increase our bottom line, and it is more profitable for us to add on these things. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, you're adding real value, significant value to your clients. Okay. So when you're putting that together, just look at your suite of riders available. And what I like to do, kind of bringing this full circle and kind of wrapping this up, what I like to do is when I'm presenting it, I will go ahead and present a price that includes everything. So, hey, this is a death benefit with an accidental death benefit on here that has a critical illness. And, you know, if you get sick, it's going to pay you money, and it has waiver of premium. And your total price for that is $125 a month. Well, if they can't stomach that, then obviously we know in the back of our mind, we've got some ways now to do a little bit of a price drop down. Well, hey, we can remove that critical illness rider or disability. You know, we can get this price down for you and still get you some valuable coverage. But don't get caught up in this, you know, this mindset of I've got to be the cheapest I possibly can, so I'm just going to go into the stripped down policy. Guys, our job is to take care of people and make sure we're putting real value in front of them. So that's enough on that this morning, but definitely as you're working on planning your appointments, work with your mentor, as you're going through virtual mentor and pulling these policies off, and then you're connecting with your upline. Ask them, questions. Hey, what writers do you recommend? And educate yourself on that. Virtual mentor, if you'll notice, all the products that it recommends has a link to the agent guide. So you can pull up an agent guide and read up on what those writers do specifically, what conditions they cover. So take advantage of that. Last thing, you guys, I want to kind of wrap up the call with, and again, we're going to be a short call this morning. Let everybody get out early and get on with Friday, and maybe even jump on the phones early today if you want to really get March launched to a big start. And actually reminds me, I need to touch on one thing here regarding March sales. But biggest thing, one of the things I want to touch on, and this has been on my mind this week, is this business is, one of the biggest elements to success in this business is it's a mental game. The 8 inches in between our ear have a huge impact on everything about this business. And so it's very important that you protect that space, that mental space. And it's also very important that you're disciplined and do that on a daily basis. That you're putting the time into self-development, that you're reading. A couple books that you've heard me mention a lot here lately: The Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck, and then the Master Your Mind by Roger Seep. I forget the other author's name. Both of those books have really, they touch on a lot of topics that are kind of wide ranging, but basically at the crux of them is, you have control over your mental, your mental processing, your mental stability. And it is up to you to take, to take action and make sure that you're protecting that space. And so many times is what we see in this business is somebody, has a bad day, has a bad week, has a bad month, etc. And then they start allowing those, what I call the demons of doubt, to creep in and start affecting them. And guys, even if you think you're saying all the right things and being positive, it will affect you in the home. When you're having those conversations with people, it will affect you in the home, and you may not even realize it. There's just in the way you carry yourself. One of the things that I want to leave you with, and I want you to think about what an elite class or group of people that you guys are, and I mean that. I don't mean that as just kind of a a meaningless stroke. I mean it for real, because you think about, and I've seen this when I've had conversations with people who work an hourly job and have only been an employee. I mean, you guys, you pick up the phone and you call a total stranger, and in a matter of a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes, you actually not only get a lot of personal information from them, but you get them to agree to sit down with you face to face at their home, their private space. And then not only do you get them to agree to sit down with you, you go out and you actually meet with them again in their home. And in the matter of about an hour to 2 hours, and even if you've only sold one policy here, or maybe you haven't sold here yet, but you've sold somewhere else, if you've done in-home sales anywhere, you have gone in and you sat down, built a rapport, built a connection, and got somebody to agree to give you money and give you all their personal, literally all their personal information, because we're collecting the whole thing: their name, their address, their social security number, their checking information. We're walking out the door with their financial life in our hands. And if we were bad people, obviously we do a lot of bad things with that, but we're not, and that's not the point. But the point is, if you think about it, people can't wrap their head around how we do our job. The idea that we can go out and talk to a total stranger, and the idea that we can go out and and create that value with that person that quickly. And just the idea of picking up the phone and talking to a total stranger blows most people's mind. And again, I've sat with people who work a job where it's nice and safe, and they've got their protected, hourly wage, salary wage, or whatever. And then they find out that I actually call people on the phone who aren't expected to call, and I go out and meet with them at their home, and I get them to pay me, and they can't wrap their head around that. So say all that to say, just a hat tip to everybody on this phone, and I really want you to go into the month of April and go into your next week, holding your head high and your shoulders back, and really, really proud of the fact that you are making an impact on people's life, and you're doing it a lot of people can't even wrap their head around. Guys, one thing that I do want to touch on coming into April, coming up with conference, because conference again, April 16th, 17th, that's on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, obviously our sale days typically are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So one of the things I want to put a bug in your ear, make sure that you are planning out your month and being very, very intentional. We always, when we come to the big events like this, guys, it is easy to get caught in a trap where you kind of, you let off the gas a little bit going into the event because you're like, well, I got to plan, I've got to prepare for this. And then, coming out of the meeting, you're like, well, I got to, I'm kind of got to get my ducks in a row and get all this information assembled, et cetera, et cetera. And we wind up losing a week, maybe 2 weeks of production because we just weren't intentional with setting our schedule. Make sure that coming into conference, I highly recommend the week before conference, you even set up some appointments maybe on the weekend prior, Saturday, Sunday, because we've got Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's normally part of our Mondays. So maybe run a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or if it's better for you, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to do some phoning. Obviously, while we're at conference, you're not going to have any time to be on phone. But maybe coming out of conference, if you want to run that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But intentional on planning. Don't let, you're going to get enough information out of conference to, typically we see, agents triple or even quadruple, their production coming out of conference. Same thing with agencies. But, so you're going to get a lot of valuable tools that are going to provide just tremendous, return on investment for you. But don't let that short period of time, that 2 or 3 weeks, actually be a stumbling block for your month of April. Because I see several of you are on pace for promotions, individually and as a team. So let's make sure that we're planning out the month of April, being very intentional, get your production in, and actually use conference as a launch point, heading into the spring to really catapult your business to another level. But don't let the timing around conference actually be something that sets you back and actually puts you behind in the business. So guys, that's what I've got for this morning. I appreciate everybody jumping on this morning. And again, we'll be getting some updates out to you. We've got this little training idea I want to put together, make sure that we're providing everybody with the one-on-one support that you need to be successful in this business. And so keep your eyes peeled for that. And we're going to close it out early, jump on the phones early if you want to, get a big week set up. April starts next week. Last mention, the net place sheet, the online business tracking. We need everybody to get in today, get that updated, because we're trying to get numbers finalized for the month. So do that for us, please. Guys, thank you. Have a great meeting and great to see everybody. Look forward to seeing you in DC in person.
Hey, Chris.